What's up, Cal State Long Beach students? My name is Brett Young. I'm going into my fourth year at Cal State Long Beach. Um, this podcast that we are going to be talking about today is for my Criminal Justice 330 class with Professor Choi. This podcast is going to be about how racism is in the United States, but more specifically, this is going to be talking about how African Americans see racism in the United States. So with me today, I have two African Americans, one of my closest friends, and my brother. I myself am an African American male, but I want to see how African Americans perceive racism. As people, we all have different opinions and different points of views. So I don't want anybody's point of views to come off as hurtful to anyone who may disagree. So I ask before we get into this podcast that everybody keeps an open mind and we don't criticize what people say. So with me today as our first guest, I have my close friend who I think of like my brother. His name is Ray. Introduce yourself, bro.
How you doing, Cal State Long Beach students? My name is Ray, and I'm here with Brett, one of my close friends, like you said, we're like brothers, and we're here today on this podcast. So,
All right, bro. So like I had said, we're going to be talking about how, growing up, black in America is seen through our eyes, or more so you, Ray. So, in an article that I was researching by the Time magazine, it was it started a bunch of like actors, models, very powerful people with powerful influences over the world, basketball players, and they say that America deserves a black future. And what they mean by this is that with all the racism that has been going on throughout the United States, where in terms of police brutality, that black people specifically do not get a lot of recognition for the things that they do besides, say, putting a ball in a hoop or catching a touchdown pass. So, into my first question, how do you feel about growing up black in America? What have you either seen or been through personally that deals with racism in the United States?
that's a great question. Personally, growing up black in America, I mean, I never actually really experienced racism. Um, I
We work at Walmart, bro. We always experience racism.
well, that's different. I mean, like the people at Walmart or whatever, like when we make stops or whatever, and they get mad and they say something racist. Chances are they just saying that to get under your skin. But I
True, true.
mean, in reality, like when I go outside or anything like that, I don't experience any type of oppression or any type of discrimination. Personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but it's been like that pretty much my whole entire life. And I grew up in a non-predominantly black area too, so
Same.
like I don't I haven't really experienced any type of racism, to be honest.
Okay. I got a side question for that,
Okay.
besides the normal set. Now, we do work at Walmart for asset protection, right?
Correct.
How does it make you feel how does it make you feel when we deal with the police? When we have to call them and how they handle stuff with us? Does it make you feel comfortable or do you feel uncomfortable?
No, I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm not trying to sound biased or anything. I want to be a police officer. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm currently in the process of doing. But not to sound biased, like even before then, anytime I was around police officers, I never did feel uncomfortable. I never felt like I was gonna get shot or anything like that. That never crossed my mind. Um, it's kind of like if you cool, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. A lot of times what we see on the media, I feel like, is that a lot of people, they'll escalate the situation just so they can, you know what I'm saying, get a cool video for Twitter, try to get some Twitter clout, you know what I'm saying? You know, so and then next thing you know, everybody's in the comments or whatever. And then it's just like a social norm to like bash on police officers. And I'm not saying that police brutality doesn't happen. However, I do feel like the real issue is that people are just ignorant and they kind of go off of, you know what I'm saying, a 30-second video, things like that. Or people like LeBron James, right? Like it was a guy, I don't know, I'm probably going off side topic, but it was a guy, it was like a police involved shooting that happened. And the guy's name was, I forgot, it was like Sean something or something like that. But he was
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was like a light skinned black guy, green eyes.
Yeah.
But so he went on live, like on Instagram live, and he basically, you know what I'm saying, filmed the chase on live. He had a gun on him, which was super distinct. Like it was a orange and chrome gun. And then on different various clips inside on the live, you could actually see the gun or whatever. But everybody was just so, you know what I'm saying, so upset. Like he didn't have a gun, blah 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 blah. I think the NFL actually made a post about him and posted it on like Twitter or something like that.
Yeah, they did.
LeBron James had even said something like that. And my issue is that, you know what I'm saying, LeBron James or just anybody of like a high celebrity status or anything like that. Like LeBron James, he's not a ballistics analysis. He's not a forensic scientist. You know what I'm saying? He's going off of the same thing that you see, and he's saying something like, and whatever he said, like justice for him, another black man killed, blah blah blah. He didn't do anything, and then so many people are just agreeing with him. You know what I'm saying? Just because of his status, and I think that's the issue. Because I feel like the media kind of jeopardizes that for law enforcement, but
okay,
that's how I feel.
So this kind of relates. I made all the questions where they bounce off of one another.
Okay.
So this goes into my second question. So with all the racial injustice that has been happening, I mean, we all see it. Black people unarmed, being killed in the street. So the movement that surrounds you know, black people being killed, the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement was established in 2013 as a combat to dealing with racism, especially and more specifically, cops mistreating African Americans, male and female, yes. And my question is, seeing all the racial injustice and seeing the Black Lives Matter movement throughout everything that happens, as an African American, how do you personally feel about the Black Lives Matter movement?
I mean, I don't have no issues with it if, or like I said, everyone, you know what I'm saying, has their opinion. Everyone has their right to protest and stand up for what they believe for. I don't see a issue with it. I mean, if we talk about recent, where like the George Floyd and how that kind of escalated to where people were looting and riots and stuff like that, then that's when I think that it should be, you know what I'm saying, calmed down a little. But personally, I don't think there's any issue. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And like I'm saying, I'm not saying police brutality doesn't happen, because it definitely does. But I think that there's just different ways to go about it. But yeah, I don't see any. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead.
The reason why I asked this question is because growing up as an African American, we know and we see these gangs, right?
Correct.
So as an African American, it is just like, you know, I'm pretty sure for other races, you can get brought into these gangs very easily.
Correct.
Just because of these influences that you deal on a normal, public schools. So, as an African American, do you see, do you think African Americans are being targeted by the police? And do you feel like more police officers are shooting down our people? Or do you feel like African Americans are shooting down more of us? And that's why I was relating it, and that's why I'm kind of relating it to the Black Lives Matter movement in terms of, do you think that they can do more in terms of helping, not only coming out when, say a black man or a black woman gets killed by the police unlawfully, and do you think that they should be more prevalent and more persistent in going into these communities where gangs are more prevalent and trying to make a difference off the camera instead of only coming when the cameras are on?
I totally see what you're coming from. Being all right, so keeping it. Let's just keep it a whole stack. You know what I'm saying?
Before you go in,
mm-hmm.
I didn't state that was question 3 for the audience. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
So, like I said, just keeping it all factual. Growing up, when I was growing up, right? My mother's side of the family, my mother grew up in the projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she grew up in Watts in the projects, and obviously terrible area. You know what I'm saying? You never want to go there.
Been there, done that.
Right? And my dad on the other half, you know what I'm saying? He grew up in Arkansas, and he lived farm life. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So totally two different backgrounds. So when my parents got together and they had me, they wanted to move. We actually moved to Long Beach or whatever. It was a nicer part of Long Beach. And then we ended up moving to Norwalk, a nicer part of Norwalk too.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally, they did that purposely because they didn't want me to be around that environment because they seen what goes on over there. And
yeah, I grew up in Bixby Knolls.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Our parents, of course, they know, what goes on, right? And
Correct.
I think being African American, right, we have a responsibility of taking care of ourselves and our community,
mm-hmm.
because, like I said, if we're keeping it a whole being, if we're keeping it truthful, you got black people in, you know what I'm saying, Chicago,
mm-hmm.
killing each other every day. And I think I looked up, it was some stats or whatever I seen a while back, but it was it was over 100 homicides in Chicago, right? And then only a small portion of them were actually police involved shootings. So it was all the majority of it was gang on gang violence, and the majority of it is black people killing each other, right?
Yeah.
So I think in those times, or being black, like I said, Black Lives Matter. I get you. That's totally fine. I have nothing wrong with it. But I think that black people should take more responsibility and contributing more to their community rather than when something happens, you know what I'm saying, a cop pulls up or whatever who's trying to do his job or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody just, oh, he ain't doing nothing, leave him alone, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Then you want to stand up, right? But when it's gang related, nobody wants to speak up.
It doesn't even get advertised.
That's what I'm saying. No one wants to speak up. It's not advertised. And you got this whole no snitching culture. You see what I'm saying? So if you want change, you gotta be an African American. Speaking on the African American community, I'm not saying police brutality doesn't happen, but I think that the majority of our issues stem from ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that if African Americans want more change and want to be taken more seriously, then it's a lot of things that African Americans need to do.
So pretty much what we're getting at is that we put more of our own people in the ground than the cops do.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean,
I agree with that statement.
Just looking at society, like we work in Walmart, like you say, right?
Yeah.
We all right, like we work in Walmart, right? And we work in Lakewood. I don't mean to like really put out where we work like that, but
Well, now they know.
right, all right, whatever. But
Still don't know
hey,
what we look
don't
like.
be
They
don't
don't know.
be coming up there stealing, all right?
That's what I'm saying.
But look,
we snitching.
we snitching. Nah, we snitch over here. But look,
Get paid to do so.
but like I said, Lakewood, right, which is mostly a white area, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, we get a whole mix of array of people who come inside our store, right?
Mainly because that Long Beach Walmart closed. So
Yeah, mainly because of that. The Long Beach Walmart closed, so we the next closest. But we get a lot of Hispanics, a lot of blacks,
gang affiliated people.
right? And our majority of problems stem from black people. So it's like
They do.
I personally do not like making like, even though like of course like we have to, but like it's times where like we'll see like a African American stealing and we know we gotta like stop him and we're just like, oh my gosh, like he about to trip, she about to trip, you know what I'm saying? Like this about to be a whole nother situation. It's about to be bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like,
And people, before he goes on, this is based off of what we've seen. Yeah. We are asset protection associates for Walmart. So we are the people making sure people don't steal, if you guys don't know what that is.
Exactly.
And based off of what we've seen, majority of the people who do steal from our Walmart are African Americans, male and female. The second behind them is Hispanics, but off of what we have seen, it's always African American.
That's what I'm saying, and I can't tell you, like you've been there, like you witnessed it. Yep. How many times we stopped an African American, and they say and they give us, come on, bro, we supposed to stick up for each other. You should let me go. You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
Like, bro,
every
what
time.
You mean?
Every time.
You go? Or the one dude who was like, this is you do a white job, like you work a white job. I'm like, bro, what is a white job, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
It always boils down to like racism for no reason.
It's crazy, and it's like as a black person talking to another black person, you obviously know what you did was wrong, and I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing my job, but you got an issue with me.
Because we're just doing our job.
Because I'm black and I'm doing a so-called white job. Like, bro, what are you talking? First of all, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't never heard of a white job.
But like, that's why, like, I say, like, the issue isn't even, like, I don't think that the issue is law enforcement. It's ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You have females or males, right, walking around with do-rags on, bonnets. You know what I'm saying? You like, she got orange hair. Like you got orange hair, you got these super long fingernails, you got these eyelashes that like.
All right, like, bro, you coming for a lot of people
but
right now.
I'm just saying, like but you got people like that, right?
Yeah.
And then like people, oh my god, like she's ghetto or he's ghetto, right? Uh-huh. But like yeah, duh, like you like let's just being honest, like that's that. When people see that, that's the perception you give off. And then when a lot of people continuously see black people like that, it stigmatizes all of us, saying that we're all ghetto and stuff like that.
I see what you mean.
So what I mean, you got all these dudes going out here with do-rags, sagging. You know what I'm saying? Like sagging their jeans, stuff like that. Like if that shows swag, then cool. But like I'm just saying, like you see how that negatively affects us as a community.
It stigmatizes us.
Exactly. So that's like I say, the issue I think is with ourselves more than anybody else, because we can kill each other all day, right? And it won't, like I said, it won't make no headlines, nothing like that, right?
Nope, not one.
And that's just because everybody's quiet about it. Like, you know, like right now, a black man could have got shot by another black man and killed right now over some gang violence, right? And like nobody would know about it, right?
Yep.
Because nobody's gonna snitch. It's no snitching culture. Nobody's gonna snitch. But let a white officer come in there and things go left. Things go left, and then that white officer shoots a black male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's even if
Lawful.
like the whole even if it's justified, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows that this so-called person who he shot was like a known gang member,
Mm-hmm.
did a whole bunch of illegal stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
They're still gonna be like, oh nah, he didn't do nothing, blah blah blah, he didn't do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't win. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you mean.
It's bad.
Okay, so moral of the story for question 3. You don't feel like African Americans are targeted by the police?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. So, for an example of our justice system, to be more exact, Trayvon Martin, 17-year-old boy, died February 26 in 2012.
Okay.
A year later, his killer, George Zimmerman, was acquitted of all charges.
Okay.
Dropped. So he can walk a free man. Question 4. Do you think, in your opinion, that the justice system is against African Americans?
I mean, if we're talking about that specific case, personally, honestly, I really don't know like all the facts of the circumstances of what happened.
No,
I just know that he had some Skittles and something like that.
Yeah.
And like, not trying to laugh, it's not funny, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's I based off of this one an example because it was a big case, especially back in that year.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was to me it was something that, hit home for me
Okay.
because I saw how afraid my mom was,
I got you.
especially with my brother being around that age at that time, and then me coming into, well, I was 12 years old, but I'm going into my teen years, and it was just, she was very fearful, she was very scared that it wasn't just the police targeting us, it was everybody else. So, and then even like not just that, when we look at the George Floyd murder and Breonna Taylor, we had to go through hoops and ladders and all that stuff around us, jump over walls just to put George Floyd's murderer in prison, while the other officers involved in that got to walk. So this is more so of a general question.
Okay.
So in your opinion, out of everything we've seen, and it sucks to say everything because it has been a lot where black people, when they get murdered unjustly, their killers get to walk free. A lot of those cops just get, put on suspension, or they just lose their job. So, in your opinion, do you think that the justice system is against African Americans?
Speaking on the whole criminal justice system, I mean, I think, what is it, like the majority of people incarcerated are Hispanics and African Americans?
Yeah, African Americans, I think,
are number one.
Are
right?
number one, and
Yeah.
Hispanics are like right behind, I think.
Yeah, statistically, I would say that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Statistically, just because of going off of the facts that such and such amount or percent of African Americans are incarcerated, etc., etc. I would say that I think it'll be safe to say that it probably does have some bias against African Americans, but I also think that kind of stems back to what I was talking about earlier, by you being a citizen, like a normal functioning citizen, I should say. Then I don't think you'll have anything to worry about. Because like I said, granted, you know what I'm saying, I was moved from an area where a lot of gang violence or whatever was prevalent. And like I have uncles or whatever who's been in and out of jail that
Same.
Yeah, that my mom or whatever, I haven't talked to them since I was like 6 years old, you know what I'm saying?
I think growing up black or even Hispanic, you're going to have, those gang ties, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
But it's like the parents, who cut those ties off to make sure that their kids don't get roped up into it.
Yeah,
Not all parents do that, but
yeah, definitely.
ours did.
But yeah, like I was saying, like I think it goes back to what I was saying before. Like yes, there is some bias. I'm sure, especially if you go off of the statistics. But like I said, I've never even experienced any sort of racism or anything like that. I've never had any bad run in with the cops. Matter of fact, I actually got a speeding ticket not too long ago. Wait, so look, I was going how fast was I going? I was going, I think it was like 56 and a 45 or something like that. Anyway, but like when I pulled over, I it was a white cop. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel like I was gonna get shot. You know, like it went smooth. Like everything was smooth. I just acted normal. Made sure that I kept my hands on the steering wheel, etc. Stuff like that because I know like that's a big issue for law enforcement when they can't see your hands. But like I said, if you're literally like on your P's and Q's and you're not hanging around people who are, let's just be honest, bad people, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Okay.
Whether you're black, Hispanic, Asian, like if you're just on your P's and Q's, you're chilling, you're doing you, right? You're not into no bad stuff. You're not hanging out. You're not associated with any bad people. I don't see why you will have to constantly look over your shoulders and fear law enforcement. Like I said, I don't think that's something that you should be doing.
So you don't think the justice system is against us?
I mean, I do. I would say that it's some. Obviously, if we're going off statistics and stuff like that, I would say that there is some bias against African American or minorities or African Americans in this case. But like historically, like I said, it's always been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was discrimination. I mean, like we go back all the way to like you have like Rodney King and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have stories like that. But like I was saying, yes, I do think it's a bias. But if you're a good citizen, and you're not associating yourself with bad people, not doing bad things, and you follow the law, then I don't think you should be worried about anything.
Okay. So, question 5. Do you think, well, all in all, thinking of everything, we've seen, the questions I've just asked, do you think that the relationship will change between police officers and African Americans, or do you think that there will still be a fear factor towards police? So take into account of, because we both know, obviously there is a high police presence in, gang territories where, crime is more prevalent or where they know prominent gang resides.
Gotcha.
So do you think that the relationship would either get better, or do you think that it would just, like, nothing will get, fixed? Because
I don't think it would get better.
You don't?
No.
Why?
Just because you can't change everybody's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have people, right, who's like raised to not like law enforcement. So I mean, it's just like racism itself.
It's like Southern white people, not all. Just gonna clarify that for the people who are Southern in Cal State Long Beach. But it's like Southern racist white people who, still, rock the Confederate flag, saying, and excuse me for saying this, but since we are on the topic of racism, you have a lot of people who still say, especially those Southern white people or just racist white people who still say nigger, like every day.
We had the one dude.
We work at Walmart and we've been called nigger more times than I can count.
That's what I'm saying. Like him, the white dude, the white guy we're talking about, the one who always has like the handicap or whatever.
Yeah.
Him, I honestly believe that he really doesn't like black people.
Oh yeah, no, he despises us.
But he likes Daniel though. He used to have dreads.
Oh, the
little black dude. Yeah, he likes Daniel. I don't know. So I don't know. He's probably just upset because he just feels entitled. Because he broke his foot. So like every time he needs the electric car, we don't have one. He feels
That
all
man's
entitled.
foot's been broken for a year. He ain't break nothing. He be coming up in the Walmart faithfully.
Man, but
He needs to take my job.
man, he there more than me. And
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, but anyway, like you're saying, what were you saying? I'm sorry. You said,
No, it's all right.
No,
It's just, do you think that the relationship would change between police officers and African Americans, or will there always be like that fear factor towards the police?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily fear factor. Yeah,
Like
actually,
that-
yeah, no, fear
that
factor and that
and
hate.
hate, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Just because, like I said, you can't change everyone. People are literally growing up to not like law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I was saying before, like I have uncles who been to jail, gang affiliated, and things like that, right? That I haven't talked to in since I was like 5-6 years old. Anyway, my stepfather, he's a cop. He's African American.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cop, and when him
Dope
and
guy, by the way.
when me and my I mean me, what am I talking about? When my mom and my stepdad was getting married, I remember my uncles were saying like coming up to my mom like saying like you're betraying us. What do you?
So
you're betraying
stupid.
us.
So stupid.
What? How you gonna go to the other side? Like, what are you talking about?
That's so dumb.
What do you mean the other side? Like, bro, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't talk to them, but like for them to say something like that is like, bro, I don't even want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Not everybody's a bad person.
That's why I'm like, it's crazy, but like that's how. Being honest, like black people are, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a true thing. Like a lot of black people are raised to not like black people, and ironically, it's the ones who are, you know what I'm saying, doing wrong, and they know they're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't change everyone. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, for you to, you're living a dirty lifestyle.
I hope,
You hate law enforcement, like bro, look at you, like hate yourself. Why would you want to live like that?
Yeah. Some people don't like law enforcement. They don't want law enforcement to be around. But if somebody break into your home, who you gonna call?
Yeah,
You ain't gonna call the Ghostbusters because they ain't real.
That's crazy, but that's just. No one. They're not gonna change.
I don't think law enforcement is all bad. I mean, personally, I feel like we do have, a lot of people who wear that badge and taint it. But we also got a lot of hate in this world. And as we stated earlier, we have a lot of black people who kill each other.
Yeah.
I don't think that all black people, not all, sorry. I don't think all police officers are bad. But I do feel like that the ones who do wrong should get tried.
Oh, definitely.
Like justly, not like, oh, let me just give him a slap on the wrist by just taking his job.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
no, you should. That is wrong and unjust. But the thing is, I hope one day the world can change, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that stigma between African Americans and the police. I think that will stay for the years to come. Mainly because I feel like it's kind of, at this point, it's kind of like embedded into African Americans.
Yeah.
I still remember, growing up, being told, watch out for the police, and I'm just like, in this world, we shouldn't have to fear the people that are supposed to protect us.
Yeah, definitely.
But also, we shouldn't have to fear at all.
Yeah.
I should be able to know that the day I have kids, I wouldn't have to worry about my kid walking down the street.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of some either, child rapist or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, definitely.
Or, I shouldn't have to worry about because my son's wearing a hoodie, he may get shot or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just bro, like we were talking about earlier, we work at Walmart, So there's not a day that goes by where I don't see another African American person size me up like he wants to fight me.
And that's crazy because that's oh my, that's so crazy.
Because sometimes it feels like I get more judged and hate by my own people than I do by the. Well, I don't run into a lot of police officers, but I also don't get hate from a lot of police
Yeah,
officers.
like I said before, like I get more hate, I get more just BS from African Americans than any other race. Like it's crazy because it's different. Like I will stop a like Hispanic, right? He could be like banged out, face tats, all that stuff, and be cool though. Like I stop him, bro, like I know I did. You know what I'm saying? Like be cool, and I had that like a lot, right? But I'll stop like a black girl or a black dude, and like yesterday,
They'd be ready to fight you or shoot
ready
you.
to like the one dude came back with a gun.
Yeah.
He came back with a gun. Like
People, we have been threatened to be killed
Like-
behind Walmart.
like, he came back with a gun. Like, bro, really? And then he literally he comes back with a gun looking for us. Like, oh, where he at? Blah blah blah. But like a couple minutes earlier, you were just talking about how we supposed to stick up for each other and stuff like that. Like, bro,
Yeah.
really?
And it's all because when we stop people, they feel embarrassed. But it's always when it comes to, sadly, an African American person, when we stop them, they not only feel embarrassed, they feel threatened, and then they want to tell us, hey, supposed to be brothers or sisters, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? But then at the end of the day, you want to try to, like, gangbang on us, and this is like,
Facts.
bro, we just doing our job.
Facts. And like it's like I remember I was told like a long time ago about who was it? It was probably like my dad or something like that. But he told like a long time ago like the your biggest hater is basically like the black male. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like your biggest hater is like other black men. And like
Yeah.
it's true. Like as I got older, it's true. Like I see it all the time. And then I see it all the time with other people. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of other black males or whatever who's successful, high income earners and things like that. And you'll have other black men hating on them just
Hey,
because
like,
they made it. Like I would be like,
It's kind of like what Jack Harlow said, the ones that hate me the most look just like me.
like exactly like. And like it's crazy because I'm totally the opposite, right? Like totally the opposite. My sisters or whatever, my brother, me and him kind of similar, but like my sisters or whatever who come from my mom's side and who grew up in the project stuff like that. My sisters are loud. Like, they're loud, like for like no reason. Like,
I know what you
know
mean.
what I'm saying? Like they're loud for no reason. Like they're like loud. Like I'd be like, bro, like what are you yelling for? I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? But like they're loud for no reason, and you know what I'm saying? The weaves, stuff like that. I say that's your swag. Go crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. But you know what I'm saying? The long nails, the long eyelashes. Like that's them, right? That's my sisters. I love them. But like obviously,
Get us canceled and we ain't even
but like
YouTubers.
but I mean like not to cancel anybody. You know what I'm saying? If that's your swag, then that's your swag. You know what I'm saying? But people, I'm just saying, people who look like that, because looks are a very big thing. I don't care what anyone say. Like how your appearance and your demeanor is super huge. You know what I'm saying? You don't go into a job interview with super long nails like that and a bonnet on, like you know, or you don't go into a job interview with a do rag on. You know what I'm saying? Like your like your appearance is like everything. Like so, what I'm saying is people who choose to look like that, not only are you making or you're kind of like portraying this stereotype, this thug ghetto type of stereotype on black people, but you're also attracting that certain type of people. You see what I'm saying? Like if me and you are businessmen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And clean cut, clean shave all the time, suits or whatnot, casual dress clothes. We're
Mm-hmm.
not looking for, and we see a person who looks like that, you know what I'm saying, sagging their pants, do rag, etc., etc. We're us being black, we're in businessmen or whatever, or us just being black, even us now, right? We see someone like that, we're gonna automatically think, oh, he's a thug, gang member, and we
Yeah.
black, right?
Yeah. And but it's like it also like plays into the part of like how we were raised. My
Exactly.
mom, if my mom saw, I'm gonna be honest, if my mom saw me dressing anywhere
Oh,
close to like a thug or anything like that, she'll
bro, I'd be
I wouldn't be here right now.
facts, bro.
Mama doesn't play that,
Yeah, mom's
and
definitely like, and like I understand a big part of it is how we're raised, and like I said, like that's why I don't think it's gonna ever change because people are literally raised to not like law enforcement or raised to think that that's okay, and but I mean like it's crazy. A lot of people and like especially in the black community too. Why I think a lot of us feel that the system is rigged against us or black people can't get wealthy and things like that unless you're a basketball player, football player, things like that.
mm-hmm.
The only reason why people say that is because that's what we raised up to be. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like you play sports, right? Like you did track, right?
Yeah.
I did a whole array of sports. My biggest sport was football. So I was raised when I was raised and I did well in football. Like I'll be like, oh, like you have to pursue that. Like that's gonna be your career. Like you gotta do that. That's how you gonna get rich. But like it's so many other ways to build wealth that a lot of black people really just don't take the time out and learn about it,
Mm-hmm.
or and they're just not taught that like when they're getting raised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you don't make it, when you don't make it in like that, you don't become that football player, that basketball player, or that rapper, or whatever. You like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Now what I'm gonna do? How am I gonna make it? You know what I'm saying? How I can't?
Yeah.
How am I get this high earning job or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
then a lot of them, sadly, in low income, you know what I'm saying, low economic areas, they
Mm-hmm.
resort to gang life violence, etc., etc., and then it just builds on top of that. So, I like it all starts off with how you're raised, but hey, I like you can't change everyone, so it is what it is.
Well, thank you, Ray. Uh, I feel like we got a good insight on how you see and perceive racism in the United States. Um, for everybody listening, we got one more guest. That guest will be my brother, my actual blood brother, and we'll see what he thinks about racism and how he feels. I know personally, my brother has had a few run-ins uh, with racism throughout his life, and a few run-ins with gang violence. So I'll let him tell the story. But thank you, Ray,
No problem.
and let's get ready for the next guest.